Welcome to another episode of Trini Bites.
Today we're going to be making baked ham with hops bread. Start off by mixing the three main ingredients, which is our sauce that goes over the ham, the glaze, which consists of the brown sugar, which is about half a cup, 2 tablespoons of mustard, and a quarter cup of honey.
And then we also have some cloves.
We'll give this a good stir up, make sure everything is all nicely incorporated into one consistent paste. Just want to break up any clumps that are in here. You should have a consistency like this, sort of thick but it's still running. If you find that it's too thick, the pineapple juice from the pineapples in the can, you could add a little bit of this to loosen it up.
So since we're in the Christmas spirit, we're taking a drink of pear draft.
Alright, so before we apply the glaze to the ham and the pineapples and all that other stuff, we're going to actually take a knife and poke some slots and put clove inside. Depending on the size of your ham, this one is about 10 pounds. You'll need to add more or less.
It doesn't really matter how much clove you put, it's preference.
Yeah. So we'll just go around and keep adding these. Alright, so now we're gonna pour the glaze onto the ham and brush it in using a barbecue brush, something that's not gonna leave any strands or anything in your sauce. So now that all the glaze is poured on top, we'll just use the brush just to brush it around and get it all into all the nooks and crannies of the ham.
I think that pretty much covered it.
Yeah, that looks pretty good.
Looks juicy.
Maybe just a little bit in front here. Okay, so now that the glaze has been applied to the ham, we're gonna put the pineapple on using some toothpicks, or else it'll just slide right off. Well, the top one's not gonna slide off, of course, but all the ones on the side will. If you're one of those people who don't like pineapple on their pizza, I know you're out there. Do not put the pineapple if you don't want to. You could completely omit that from the recipe and it'll still turn out just as amazing. So that's basically it. All we're gonna do is take a piece of foil, cover it down. We've already preheated our oven to 350 and we're gonna bake this for about 2 hours. So before we put the foil on, we're actually just gonna pour the remaining pineapple juice in the base just to keep it nice and moist and to add additional flavor. Once again, if you do not like pineapple, you could just use water. And I'm actually gonna add just a little bit more water just to balance it out. If you do not add a liquid in the base, the sugar mixture that we put on with the glaze will burn. So, and the water needs to be there in order for it not to burn. So now with my father-in-law, we're going to be making the hops bread. So to start off, we have 1.5 cups of warm water, half a cup of warm milk, a tablespoon or a teaspoon of salt, 1 tablespoon of shortening, half a cup of melted butter, a tablespoon of yeast, and a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar. So we're gonna start, oh, and we also have 4 cups of flour, which is already in our stand mixer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our 2 wet ingredients together, and we will add a little bit of the brown sugar. Just take a little bit off there. All right, so we've added our brown sugar in there, and we're gonna add our yeast in here to activate it. This will take about 10 minutes or so. So once that's activated, we'll come back and add all of our ingredients into the mixer and have it starting to make the dough. All right, so we're gonna continue our recipe. And just to let you guys know, if it looks like we don't know what we're doing, it's because we actually don't know. This is our first time ever trying to make bread, and we're just hoping that it's gonna turn out good so we can eat it with our nice Christmas ham. So we're gonna start by adding in the salt into the activated yeast mixture, the melted butter, and the rest of the brown sugar. I'm gonna give this a stir. Alright, so we have our mixture here, all of our wet ingredients. And we have a little bit of shortening here, so we're just gonna throw in the shortening into our mixer. So we'll put this down, lock it. We'll put it on low, and we'll slowly pour this in. And now it's just a waiting game until the mixture does its thing. All right, so after about 10 minutes of mixing in the mixer, we're ready to take it out. We've floured our countertop already, and we're gonna take it out and knead the rest of it by hand. Okay, so we just put some flour down. We're just gonna knead the rest of this. First time kneading dough. Hope I'm not doing a bad job. All right. And we're gonna put it in our bowl. All right. That's good. We're gonna wait for this to rise, and then we're gonna punch it, let the air out, knead it a little bit again, let it rise one more time, do the same thing, punch it, let the air out, and then we're gonna make our buns, so our little balls of dough to make our buns. All right, so we're just gonna check on our ham, see how it's doing. We still have about another half an hour, 45 minutes to go. We'll take the foil off for the last 20 minutes of cooking. Okay, so the ham has been baking for an hour and a half now. We're gonna take it out. We're gonna use some of the drippings that are in the bottom of the pan and re-glaze it and put it to bake without the foil for another 20 minutes. Okay, so the ham just finished its last 20 minutes. We're gonna take a look for the first time. Oh man, look at the color. Amazing. Nothing is burnt. Okay, so now that it's finished, our bread isn't ready yet. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna cover it with the same foil we had on earlier and let it rest until our bread is finished and we're ready to slice it up and make some nice ham and bread sandwiches. Okay, so this is our dough after it's risen, and what we're gonna do is flour our countertop, punch the hole in it, let the air release from it, knead it, and then we're gonna put it back in here to rest one more time. As you can see, I'm very excited because it's the first time I've ever done this, and it seems very fun. So poke the hole and pull it out from in here. Okay, I think we're good there. Make it back into a nice ball. Now we place it gently inside of our bowl. And we'll cover it again and let it rise one more time. And we'll repeat this, and then we'll make our buns into balls before we bake them. Alright, so the dough has risen again for the second time. We're gonna release the air and put it out here, and we're gonna start to separate it.
Comes out nice.
I'm gonna make a nice piece,
Good even.
nice and even piece of dough, and then so we're just gonna create sections. Cut it in half first. Alright, so we're gonna cut this in half. And we're gonna sort of open this out. Cut this in half. Both the sides?
Yeah, that side is good.
Alright. So we oil this pan here. And as we're making them, we'll just start to rest them. Alright, so we finished separating them. As you see, there's some small and some big, because some people like a bigger bun and some of us like a smaller bun. So we did a variation to please everybody. So what we're gonna do is take some of this oil and just lightly rub the top of them, put a piece of parchment over it, and let it rise one more time just before we put it to bake, just so we get a nice airy fluffy bun. So now that the oil is on top, we're just gonna put a piece of parchment over it. And it will raise a little bit more, and then we'll put it to bake. The oven is preheating at 350 right now. We're gonna bake it for about 40 minutes. All right, so while our bread is raising before we put it to bake, we're gonna remove the pineapple and all the clove from the ham we baked. And then we have to remove all the clove. You might miss a couple here and there, but that's the way it is sometimes. All right, so we're gonna start to carve it up.
Oh, beautiful.
See all the juices flowing out? Look at that.
I'm gonna steal a little taste. This is delicious.
Okay, so I'm just gonna finish carving this up, and we'll catch you guys back when the bread is finished baking. All right, so the timer on our oven just went off, and our bread is finished. As you can see, has a nice golden brown crust. We got our big ones over here, and we got our little ones over there. We go say we want to come out welcome sore because, you know, first time. All right, so this is the finished product of our bread. I know they look a little different size here and there, but this is our first time making bread, so I hope you guys understand that. But we're gonna take one, we're gonna cut it in half, put some pork on it, and we're gonna give it a taste. So I like this one right here in the corner. So we're gonna take this. Real nice. Whew.
Amazing for the first time.
So let's add on some nice pieces of ham here. We got some scorpion pepper sauce. Gonna mix this up on here a little bit. Use the back of the spoon and spread it out. Alright, so we're gonna cut it in half. Take half. Look at that.
Let's try it.
Let's go.
This is our first time. Can you imagine the second time?
I know. Oh my god.
Thanks for watching.
I hope you guys liked today's video. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Cheers.